Hey guys, it's Samia Khan here at Etnies Headquarters in Orange County. I'm hanging out with Rick Marmolijo, the designer and manager for Etnies. Rick, thanks so much for joining us. So how did you get into the shoe business?
I was going to school for graphic design at Cal State Fullerton, and in the meantime I've been skateboarding throughout this whole time, and I was trying to find a niche for myself. A friend of mine worked for a really small shoe company called Castell. I'd always give him suggestions like, hey, why don't you try making this toe panel like this, or making the heel panel like that. Tell you what, it's like, I need some help. So why don't you sketch up some shoes, and I'll show my bosses.
What are the key differences when it comes to skate shoes versus regular shoes? Like, what do skaters look for in shoes?
Skaters look for shoes that have really good protection and support. You definitely want to have a lot of good board feel, so you want the shoe to be minimal in padding at the midsole, but also gives you enough protection to jump downstairs.
You're a skater yourself, right? So this is coming from like an expert here.
So,
he knows his stuff.
I've been skating for 22 years. I'm 35 now, so it definitely helps a lot with designing skate shoes because once the shoe's designed, it's also part of the design process where I get to test them out and skate.
Wait, so you're saying that skateboarding at work counts as your job?
It totally does. So we actually have a TF, it's a training facility just across the street, and it's an indoor skate park. We invite team riders, and guys like me and the other designers get to skate the shoes.
So here we have the fall 2011 collection.
Yes, we do, yep.
All right, why don't you just get into this whole thing?
Really excited about this line. It's probably one of our most diverse lines. The Jamison 2 Eco. This is actually a great story for us. Everything on the shoe is made out of recycled materials. For instance, like the outsole is made out of 25% recycled rubber. You also have the laces that are made out of recycled PET, which are made out of recycled plastic bottles. The inner lining is made out of recycled Drylex, which also is a moisture wicking material that doesn't make your feet sweat, and also doesn't make your feet stink. This is kind of the first launch of our Buy a Shoe, Plant a Tree program. So for every pair of Jamison 2 eco-friendly shoes that you buy, a tree is planted in the rainforest of Costa Rica. So Pierre, who is our founder and president of Etnies, he's very, very passionate about the environment and making sure we take care of it in the future. So his vision is by 2020, Soltech as a brand, as a company, will be carbon neutral. This one's called the Jamison 2.5, so it's definitely inspired by the Jamison 2. So what we did is we did a little bit of tweaks to it, putting it on a vulcanized sole, definitely thinning out the upper and the padding, but also adding like a cord with like this contrast stitch to give it more of a different look on the toe. This one is the Scenics Mid, and it's actually inspired off a shoe that Pierre designed in 1989 called the Scenics Mid.
So it's like a retro.
It's a retro. There's an actual model of it in the timeline back there. Basically, it was kind of the first skateboarding performance shoe. Pierre is an ex-pro freestyle skateboarder, and he wanted to design a shoe that was specifically made for skateboarding. If you look at the shoe, it's got like a rubber panel here, for ollie protection, heel stabilizer. So what we did is we basically modernized the Scenics and just made it all one piece upper, and using the contrast stitching to mimic some of the panels from the original shoe. Here we have the Sheckler Fusion. Fusion is a new technology that STI is introducing with Ryan's shoe that creates an amazing bond to the shoe so it doesn't delaminate like traditional vulcanized shoes. It's lightweight, it's more durable, it's more cushiony. The production process takes about 75% less time. Overall, a great story, it's a great shoe, and it skates amazing.
Those are like BMX shoes, right?
Yeah, so this one is the number mid, and this is Aaron Ross's pro model. He is our top BMX rider for Etnies. He really wanted a shoe that was very functional. So if you look at the outsole, this clear tread, you can see that the outsole tread is designed so that the bike pedals, locks in with the tread. Also, as you can see with, the dark area, that's a TPU shank in the midfoot, so that it gives your foot support from the pedals and, it doesn't bruise your arches.
How did the shoe go from sketch to this?
Why don't I just show you?
Let's do it.
So this is kind of where the process all started.
The magic happens right here.
So the first step is, like I said, when I showed team riders some sketches, what we do is we do a tech pack for China. Tech pack is basically blueprints that is needed for China to make a shoe. They send us a pullover, and what that is basically an upper that has just random materials, but it's for me to check to make sure the patterns are exactly how I want it. They send a pattern for me, a paper pattern, and what I do is I make corrections on the paper pattern. From the design process to actual production, when it comes out in stores, it takes a whole 18 months.
Well, Rick, thanks so much for inviting me to your design space and teaching me about how the design process works here.
No problem.
And if you guys want to check out the Fall 2011 Etnies collection, make sure to head over to etnies.com.